now it's time to play some causation. So we have the Heast. Flag on fire is push. Text is push. Baba is you. Love is win. Text is float. Wall is stop. Ice is teleport. Lava is stop and shut. Fire is fire. Fire and flag is defeat. So if I just turn the fire into flags, which I can't do, but if I could do that, then I would be able to, well, accomplish nothing is what I'd be able to do. So this is interesting stuff. I can do fire as text, and that will get rid of all the fire. Oh, I can't, because the fire is fire. So then, if text is push, ice is telly. So if I do text is push, and I just get the text positioned over here, like that, well, it didn't move anything out of the way. I expected it to, but I guess oh, because text is float, it's not going to do anything like that, so. Alright, here's what we're going to do real quick. We're going to transform Baba into fire for basically no reason. It just seemed like kind of a funny thing to do, and I couldn't get it off my mind. So I could also transform Love into flag or something, but that would be bad. So we're not going to do that. So let's go ahead and just restart this real quick. So I guess we want to do fire on text is probably something that we want to be able to do. I think if I say fire on text is push, then that means I'll be able to push the fire out of the way so long as it's, well, it's on some text. So that's probably a good starting point here. So I should be able to use is to push the fire out of the way. And now I guess that is forever lost, which is probably going to be a problem later on, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So if I go through the teleporter now, I do have free reign to be on the lava here. And so I guess what I want to do is ice is telly, so I can get all my stuff down in here. Lava is stop and shut, meaning that there is a way that I can probably say flag is open, and if I say text is flag, I'll be able to get another flag thing, and that should work out all right for me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say text on fire is flag. Fire. And let's come over here, and when we do that, we're gonna be able to get the flag over there to be a flag. So we're gonna say flag is push, and the reason I want to do that is I want to get that flag off of the fire, and I guess I probably want to use some text to do it. So we're probably not going to really need the push for very long, but we're going to go ahead and get that all taken care of here. And I may want to say that fire is pushed too soon, just because this is a bit of this is now kind of an issue. I'm not super happy with having flag is push there, but regardless, I can go ahead here and get that flag on this side, and we'll eventually be able to use that to open up the lava. So now that we got that going, I can go ahead and push some of this text through. Oh, the text won't go through because the text is floating. So that's why I needed to do this a certain way. So one thing that I for sure want to do is I think I want to take this fire over here, and we're going to push that onto the fire itself. And we're going to do the same thing I was doing earlier, where I say that if fire, so we'll say text on fire is flag. We're going to do that again. And that will give us another flag to work with. However, I think I actually want to say text as flag first. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna back off a little bit. And the reason for that is I want that flag. I need to back up a little ways now, because I accidentally forgot to do a very important step in all of this. So I push the flag up here. I really want the flag to be in this position. And now when I come back, I can say that what we want to do is we want to say that flag is text. And when we do that, we're in really good shape because, bam, flag is now open. Now we just need to make another flag, and that's not too hard. So what we're going to say is that text on fire is flag. We're just going to go ahead and do that again. And I'm going to try to muscle around a couple things. So one thing I'm not going to need anymore is fire after this. So let's go ahead and say that that's the one that we want to basically sacrifice to the puzzle gods. So we're gonna go ahead and push is up here. We're gonna go ahead and push text on fire is flag just a little ways. So that gives me that flag. And now I can go ahead and say that flag is push, and I can use that flag to eventually come down and unlock the door, and this puzzle is basically solved. So we're off to a really good start. We've solved 2 puzzles, and one of which was really hard, and this one was actually not too bad in the slightest, but it was still a lot of fun, and I messed around with teleporting on accident there, so I had an accidental death, but there we are, we got the love, and we can say that the area is cleared. So, oh no. Oh, okay, let's go to the overworld real quick. I did not realize that this game was going to get harder. I thought World 9 was going to be the most difficult that this game was going to get to be. I was wrong, and that fills me with a deep, deep sense of dread. Okay, so we have Flower Garden. I guess these are all done. That's why they're all super glowy. So that's nice and rewarding. Kind of reminds me, I like when video games will, on the overworld, just do like special effects to show like, yay, you did it. And this one, it reminds me of Yoshi's Island a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and skip to level 10, just because, you know, screw the sequence, right? Let's just make this as difficult as possible. Get all the painful levels out of the way. Oh. Alright, Lonely Baba is you. Alright. I understand, Baba. We all have those days. It just so happens that some people have them a lot more often than others, and you know what? That's because Baba is a loser. Lady Bird now looks very, very sad because I insulted Baba. And to be fair, that's okay. So, we have a bit of an issue here, in that I don't know how to manipulate any of this text. The only thing I can think of is to come up over here and get Baba is you, and then Baba is defeat, which is bad. That's obviously not going to fly. So, one thing I can I go through the tree? Oh, what the hell? So that's interesting. Lonely Baba is you, Skull is defeat, Cliff is stop. I guess it's the case that as soon as That's an interesting mechanic. So, oh, this is an adjective. This is like a new mechanic, so I can say Lonely Baba is you. And if that's the case, then that means that if something is lonely, then it can't stand on anything. So we're gonna say that that Lonely Baba is no longer me, and we have some interesting problems now to solve. So I can now say Baba is skull. There's still some problems I need to solve. Number one is that we have skulls, and I guess I could say that lonely skulls are defeat, but then I would need something to like push on top of the skulls, which I guess I could push the text on top of the skulls, and then that would kill them. But moreover, if we say Lonely Baba is you, I can now say Lonely Skull is defeat. And I think that what that means is if I step on a skull, it no longer can kill me, because these skulls are not lonely because I am on them and because we're occupying the same space. The skull is no longer lonely, and therefore the defeat rule no longer applies to them. Very cool. Let's go ahead and get that flag. I am filled with a lot of dread at these levels because I think that this is going to be very, very challenging. Love at first sight. So bird is push. Alright. Lonely love is you. Love on bird is you. Okay. So if I say bird is no longer push, then I can stand on top of this stuff. And I think, yes, if I stand on this thing, I die immediately. So I guess what I want to do is I want to say bird is push, and then push the bird onto the hedgie there, and then I can push out of the way, then I can come on through. So now we have ice is sink, and we have wall is stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just say that what I probably want is I probably want to have bird is push, just like, let's see, I want to complete this rule at the same time that I am on the bird. So we probably want something like this. That's interesting. So love on bird is you is very interesting because I assumed that that would mean that I would be able to control this bird, but instead it appears to be the case that I can not do that. That's very odd. Okay, well, what we can do right away is we can at least get the bird bridge in position, and then I guess I will probably want the text to be on the other side of the bird. To seem, my intuition is suggesting that that's a good idea, and I probably want to get the other bird out here somehow. So if I say bird is push, yeah, that's how I immediately lose. Let's go ahead and restart real quick. And I'm going to try to just get both the birds over like that. And I think that I want some situation like this where I have the birds in some sort of position here. Well, I was able to get that. I was able to get the bird across, but that's not really all that special because I need both birds across here. So One thing I don't understand is love on bird is you should mean that when Okay, so I think I'm overthinking the yeah, I think I'm slightly overthinking this whole on mechanic, or perhaps this lonely mechanic. So if bird is not pushed, then I can just step across the birds like that. But I guess my ultimate goal is I need both birds to be I guess I need both birds to be in some sort of, at least on the other side here. And it seems like... It seems like I can probably, at the very least, take this bird down here, get it pushed over a little bit, and then get that bird at least over there. Now, if I push across like that, that's very odd that I can't figure out how to... Oh, I guess it's not that odd, but it's odd to me that I can't seem to think of a way to get that bird across. I can push it over there. Love on bird is you. Can I go ahead and just... What happens if I push the text over here? And if I get this sort of lined up somehow, like maybe that's there. No, I think I want something like that. Now we're in real trouble because I don't want to push the bird across. If I do this, I have bird is here, and if I get this, I'm not able to push the bird from this when I'm on top of it. I'm not able to control it. I guess it would be that love on bird is you, but it should be that, like, bird on love is you would mean that I would be able to control the bird. But I'm not able to do that. So what about a position like the following? Well, I need to reset because the bird's not in the good spot. If I have both the birds lined up like such as, can I do something interesting like this? Let's get that out of the way. Let's get push over here. Get that in position. I could push the bird and the text at the same time. It's not really what I want, but it's something I can do. So I guess that's worth something, right? Okay, if we get the push here, get that bird is there. Interesting. All right. Is there a way to use these corner tiles somehow? I guess not. Yeah, nothing's pull here, so that's a little bit odd. Pretty fiendishly difficult. I just find it very odd that this, like, love on bird is you mechanic has some sort of meaning. But I think that what it's saying is that, like, Lonely Love is you, but as long as I'm also on top of a bird, I won't die. So, I guess... one thing I've noticed, I was just randomly brainstorming about, is that there's a bush in the lower right corner that is only 3 tiles down, meaning that in theory there might be something interesting that I can do there. But probably... Let me see. If I had a way of, if I had a way of getting a bird, like, onto this corner, and then trying to find some way of pushing the bird up with the text, then that could potentially work. If I... Okay, let's get that bird into position. Let's take that bird... let's take the text out. We'll get the text over the bird... the birds. No, that's not going to be a good idea to do it that way. So let's just get the birds somewhere around there. Get the text into some sort of positioning so that I can just push it all across the other side. Like this. Alrighty. Looks good. Bird is push. Yeah, the only thing I was thinking of that could have been moving towards a solution was something like the following, but that's not looking too realistic here. Do I want to have this text back across the other side? Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt, so let's just go ahead and push it over, and we'll do something like that. That's how I push that bird out of the way. Back to brain melting. You know it. Yes, indeed. We're gonna go ahead and get that this side here. Get the text into position down there. And if I come through here and I say bird is push, I'm now on top of the bird. This is very hard, I guess, yeah. I can't use this this text to get over there. I could say flag is bird, but then we're in trouble. Because if flag is bird, then I would push the... Well, hang on, that could be kind of interesting. What happens if I do that? So if I say, let's get all the text over there. And I get that into position and that into position. And I say, flag is bird. I now have a bird over there. Which, I mean, that's not super useful, but, I mean, he's there, so that's kind of cool. And something about that feels relatively intentional, so I think that it might be something I should experiment with a little bit. So I can do bird is push. This bird's not really in a good position to be pushed anywhere. But I can go ahead and just get that bird, just sacrifice it to that tile. And if I now say that flag is bird, and I use the push to just get it the rest of the way there. Now I have a bird over there, and I can die immediately trying to retrieve it. So that's useful. And I can't say like win is bird, obviously. Yeah, there must be some way to get that extra bird across. Actually, there might be something like getting the text on top of the bird like that. Hang on. That there. That pushes the bird out of the way. I can push the bird. If I had a way of pushing one of the birds down through the shrubbery, then that could work. So I was thinking something like this, where we have a bird. This push. We're just gonna go ahead and get that. We're gonna have to take the text down on the other side of the birds, which is fine. And then we're gonna come back over here, and we're gonna say that. We're gonna say that, and we're going to just take this bird, just push in that corner. I can then use something to get the bird on the other side. That's probably not what I really want, though, because now that bird is even more inaccessible than they already were. But yeah, what I'm thinking is if I had a way to be here on a bird and then push a bird off of the corner somehow, then that could have potentially done something interesting. But I'm not really seeing this going anywhere. Yeah, now the text is super screwed because it's in this horrible position because of the fact that I bundled everything up in a corner. That's how I die immediately. That's how I die immediately. Can't bird be win? It cannot be win. Because the reason that bird can't be win is that it would be win is bird. And that's no word, no. Hang on. I realize now that bird is win. Yeah, I made this much harder than I needed it to be. I had the solution earlier, actually. I basically had this. I just didn't see the way to push it all the way through at this point. Alright, so we'll just take these two birds, we'll push this guy out, and then we'll just do boop. Boop. There we go. Yeah, this is actually not too hard at all. I just kind of got distracted looking at the wrong things rather than thinking through the last remaining approach that I had. So we just come up over here, and we're just going to go ahead and dump that bird right there. And now we get the text up here, and we say bird is push. Now we say bird is win, and I can step on this bird. And as you can see, I lost immediately. because I want to flip the ordering of bird is push so that the bird is now one that I can stand on instead of push around. There we are.